The Trump administration is now using political correctness to protect the president. So this is according to a great article by the Washington Post. I don't say that very often, but in this case, it is pretty good. Uh, a top official with the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration had warned staffers last week not to contradict President Trump and his claims about the path of Hurricane Dorian. Of course. So now this small thing has turned into the biggest crap storm I've ever seen. I mean, look, let's go through some of the details, okay? Now, there's an email obtained by the Washington Post that was sent last Sunday that's just hours after Donald Trump tweeted that Alabama would most likely be hit much harder than anticipated by Hurricane Dorian. Now, projections at the time said, actually, no, that's not going to happen. Alabama is pretty much going to be untouched. They're fairly safe, right? Uh, Despite that, President Trump says, no, they're going to get hit much, much harder. Now, the official at the NOAA told staffers who are tasked with accurately providing information during life or death situations, right? Very, very important job, to quote, only stick with official National Hurricane Center forecasts if questions arise from some national level social media posts which hit the news this afternoon. Now, what does that mean? Social media posts. Well, it's a reference to the National Weather Station in Birmingham, Alabama. That is the Twitter account that corrected President Trump's false assertion. They contradicted him and said, actually, no, Alabama is going to be okay. How do we? Because we're right here. We're here in Birmingham, and we have access to the facts. And as right now, there is no indication that Hurricane Dorian would have hit Alabama at this time. Now, look, it's their job to push facts. It's their job to talk about what we know from the projections, right? To the best of their knowledge. And of course, weather forecasting is somewhat difficult, right? And sometimes they get it wrong. But the whole point is to prepare people. Lives are on the line here, okay? So very important that they get things as accurate as possible to make sure that people are aware ahead of time. And also to prevent false panic. And that's the other thing, right? So if President Trump had been unchallenged, say, oh, the Hurricane Dorian, it is going to hit much harder in Alabama. Well, what are people in Alabama going to do? Well, if there's no facts there and nobody pushing back against Trump's narrative, then there would be a run on stores, right? To make sure people are properly supplied, people would be afraid. They would, some would get out of the area, et cetera, right? They would prepare as if they were going to get hit by it for no reason. Now, all that preparation takes time, takes money, right? And of course, there's unnecessary panic. That is why you should rely on, I don't know, the actual forecasts than some jackass with a Twitter account. And I'm not talking about the Birmingham NWS. I'm talking about, unfortunately, the President of the United States. But see, here's the thing. Trump doesn't care about facts. No, what he cares about is being right. And, of course, the people around him also prop him up. He's surrounded by a bunch of yes men, a bunch of ass kissers, which is why they're like, we have to use political correctness against these people who would try to prove Trump wrong by using actual facts. That's what this is going on. Okay, that's what's going on here. So now, the NOAA meteorologist who talked to the Post, he said this, quote, "This is the first time I felt pressure from above, not to say what is truly the forecast." This is amazing. And he said furthermore that, quote, "It is hard for me to wrap my head around. One of the things we train on is to dispel inaccurate rumors, and ultimately that is what was occurring. Ultimately, what the Alabama office did is to provide a forecast with their tweet. That is what they get paid to do." And that was enough to trigger President Trump. I mean, this is absolute insanity. People pressuring other people to not actually say what's true in a weather forecast to avoid not making the baby embarrassed. Which, of course, by the way, he embarrassed himself anyway, because that's basically all he does. Lie and embarrass himself. And he can't let it go. He can't let it go. He can't let it go. But the NWS, they did nothing wrong. Birmingham especially. They get paid to do facts. What Trump does is he wants to do propaganda. And this is dangerous, by the way. And hey, look, on the subject of political correctness, right? I thought Republicans and Donald Trump himself hated political correctness. I remember him talking about, oh, PC culture. Oh, the Democrats, they want to be politically correct. Well, what is this? This is actual political correctness. The government is making sure to silence actual facts and information in order not to hurt dear leaders' feelings. Obvious political correctness. Now, there's more. As the Post explains, the NOAA was already under fire for appearing to side with Trump over its own scientists. Again, more political correctness, right? The agency sent out a statement on Friday in which it criticized the Birmingham office for its tweets. An NOAA official, also speaking anonymously, told the Post that, quote, there was no political motivation behind that statement, and said that the tweet from the NWS was singled out because an earlier NOAA hurricane forecast did show a 5 to 20% chance of tropical storm force winds in one small part of Alabama. That still doesn't line up with what Trump had said. And not only that, but it also doesn't explain the presence of certain inaccuracies. Now, those wind speeds, for example, they rarely cause the damage Trump had suggested in this tweet. And Alabama was not in the National Hurricane Center's cone of uncertainty when Trump had tweeted. By the way, I think at this point we are all living in a cone of uncertainty. So the timeline doesn't add up. So now some of you might be wondering, look, I know, right? But Donald Trump, why does it matter? Okay, he lies. He lies every day. He lies so much and about everything. Why not just let it go? Why harp on this over and over and over again? Well, here's the thing. The reason is we believe in facts. We believe in truth. And not only that, we don't believe in political correctness. And that's exactly what this is. This is the government saying to its own agency, you will not contradict the president, even when he's wrong, because it is politically inconvenient. It is just easier for someone who lies all the time to get his way, and so he can continue lying to make himself feel better. Well, wait. I thought it was facts over feelings. What happened? What happened? It seems to me that this administration runs on feelings over facts when it comes to the president and his ridiculous tweets. That's what's going on here. I mean, look, facts don't matter anymore now. Only Trump's feelings, only the feelings of the dear leader. I mean, if you're a Republican, how can you defend this? If you do, you're a complete and utter fraud. You don't care about facts. You don't care about people's lives. You care about feelings, and the feelings of a mentally deficient man-child. I mean, one of the people in this administration says, look, he's basically like a 4-year-old. This guy is King Joffrey. And he is literally okay with lying and putting people at risk in order to just be right. This is not normal. We got to get him out of there. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, You know the show. You know how I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent progressive media.